You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about a female boxer who has had enough. She's fed up. She has taken a stand. She has decided she will not, absolutely not, compete in a boxing match, a Canadian championship match, against a person that was born a man. That's right, a biological man in female boxing. Now, we talked about the fact that eventually that was going to become a safety issue where somebody was going to get hurt. There's already been girls hurt in volleyball, field hockey. We've just seen that. We saw a pool player the other day pull away from having to compete against a male. But, man, we're talking about boxing here. And there's a statistic in here that is pretty eye-opening, the strength difference between a biological man and a biological woman. Now, anybody with any common sense knew that already, but it seems so many of these federations and organizations that are woke, they don't care about women's safety. You had a power lifter, we did a video on the other day, she spoke out and got suspended for 2 years in Canada. What the hell is going on in Canada right now? Your politics are berserk. They truly are. Common sense straight out the window right here. A female boxer in Quebec, this is Breitbart, withdrew from a provincial boxing championship last month after being told without notice that she would have to fight a male-born transgender opponent. Boxer Dr. Katia Bessonette of Saguenay refused to step into the ring with a transgender opponent Mia Walmsley during the 2023 Provincial Golden Glove Championship. Golden Gloves? Are you serious? Which took place October 27th through 29th, according to Redux. The event, hosted in Victoriaville, Quebec, by the Quebec Boxing Federation and the KO 96 Boxing Club, was held to give novice fighters a shot at qualifying for the Canadian Championship in December. But when Bissonnette was told of her match, she said she was unaware that she was to face a male fighter within an hour of fight time. Wow. Quote, I came down from my hotel to head towards the room where all the boxers were warming up. My coach suddenly took me aside and told me he had received information by text message, which he had then validated, that my opponent was not a woman by birth. He did not have any other additional information, Bissonnette told Redux. She added that Walmsley was new to the area, having only moved to Canada from Australia 2 years ago, and had not been seen in the boxing community until that day. That's awfully weird. Quote, Walmsley would have boxed as a man in Australia. Showed up in Canada, all of a sudden you can just be a female. Bissonnette explains in Quebec on his file, it is mentioned that he has 0 fights as a woman. This could have gone very, very badly, folks, if her coach hadn't got tipped off about this. Because Bissonnette withdrew from the match and no other opponent stepped in to replace her, Walmsley was announced the winner by default. After she refused to fight, Walmsley, who has a recent history of political activism at a local university, began issuing threats about, quote, outing him and insisting that it will have grave consequences for the sport. Quote, rather than turning to me, my coach, or the Quebec Olympic Boxing Federation for more information, she decided to turn directly to media to out me, Walmsley furiously wrote in a statement. This kind of behavior puts athletes at risk of being excluded or receiving personal attacks based on hearsay. I am afraid of this type of accusation could eventually be used to delegitimize athletes in women's categories and justify arbitrarily and invasive regulations. But are you a biological man? Question mark. That's what I want to know. Okay? Because if you are, it's funny how nowhere in here do you state you're worried about the safety of the female athlete you're going to climb into a boxing ring with and try to knock her head off. What a punk. He went on to say that there should be no regulations about transgender athletes, that women should just, quote, trust trans athletes. What a joke. Wow. Bissonnette claims that she refused to fight to protect her safety in the ring. Good for you. Quote, according to a study, a male blow has 163% more impact than a woman's, even adjusted for weight, Bissonnette told Redux. In the group study, the weakest man remains physically superior to the strongest woman in the study. Wow. The statistic apparently came from a 2020 study on strength by researchers at the University of Utah. Bissonnette added that trans athletes in close contact sports are a danger to women. Women shouldn't have to bear the physical and psychological risk brought by a man's decision regarding his personal life and identity. There should be two categories, biological male and female. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. Can you imagine how badly that could have gone? If her coach hadn't have got that text message in that said, hey, heads up, that's a biological man. You're a fighter, and coaches are going to be very protective of their fighters. Your fighter's about to climb into the boxing ring with. Guys, we're not talking about swimming here, okay? We're not even talking about weightlifting. Yeah, obvious competitive advantages all over the place. But we're talking about a sport where you get in and you literally hit each other in the kidneys, in the face, in the noses, in the eyes. There's such a thing as orbital eye bones that get broken. I've seen eyes knocked out of their sockets. I've seen, nose broke. I was around boxing a lot back in the 90s. I've seen some ugly, ugly things go down in some fights, without a doubt. Kidneys, just the whole nine. This could have been a disaster. This story could have been much, much worse. I give this female fighter all the credit in the world to step up to the plate and say, no, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of acting like your policy is normal, because it's not. It's not, because you want to be brave, stunning, and courageously woke out there and make some kind of political statement. I'm not entertaining that. I am under no circumstances climbing in a boxing ring with a male who was worried about his safety. The thought process of some of these people is frightening. And by the way, no concern for females whatsoever. None. If I didn't know any better, I'd say these people hate women. I don't know how else to look at it. Because they don't care that they're going out there and just blowing through records. There's something prideful to them about that. You're a biological dude. There's nothing to brag about there. Nothing. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Tell me what you think. She just said, no, I'm not doing it. This is what all these women put in this position needs to do. Stop competing. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.